Welcome in, beautiful souls. If you're new here, my name is Jane, and if you're returning, I'm so glad to have you back. I have this pretty amazing message for you today. Now, I did a reading just before this, and it was talking a lot about us receiving a lot of success and abundance and all kinds of cool things. So I wanted to tap into that a little bit more and find out what kind of abundance, because, you know, when we receive gifts, and it talked about us receiving gifts too. So if we're going to be receiving gifts or abundance, lessons are always come with it. So I was kind of curious to see what we have to go through next. So they were giving me the number 8888, and that is linked to the karmic balance, which makes sense because that last reading I did, I will link the two together in the description. So it'll be easy for you to find if you're interested in viewing it. However, it talked about us cleaning up a lot of our old karmic business, basically, and then what it was bringing us into. So, I'm not surprised they gave me all the eights. So again, it's about your infinite abundance, spiritual awakening, success, and profound personal transformation. And that is what's cleaned up a lot of this karmic junk that we've been dealing with. Now, in the karmic balance too, it's all about what you put out in the world is now going to come back. So all the good things that you've done in the past is going to start like now rolling towards you. So there's been a significant change in the air. Now they asked me at the last minute to bring out my angel deck, and a couple cards flew out here. I don't know if you can see them on camera or not. I just left them, and I shuffled this card, and they told me to take a look at the bottom, and I was like, okay, library card. I don't know what the library card is, so this deck, I'm not all that familiar with it, but they did want me to take this one. Peach Read, I don't know what that one is either, so we're going to take this. I'm just going to quickly see what this card here is, and then I want to look at this one, the Bravery card, because I'm very curious, because I'm just curious because of the last reading that I did. So the library card is options, resources, and abundance. Wow. Okay. Actually, at first, when I first saw this card, I thought that word said illusions, but it doesn't. It's just like a signature. Okay. Great. Okay, so the library card is all access pass to millions of books containing a multitude of perspectives, insights, and riveting stories at no cost. Yeah, like I said, I know there's going to be there's always a lesson that goes with abundance, and abundance doesn't always mean money. Now, the one thing too about abundance is, when we're receiving a spiritual gift, we all need money to, cope in the world and to get through all the things that we need. But also to reach that, the manifesting, and that's what kind of blew me away, because this card here flew out, manifesting, and right underneath is accountability. So you must be somebody that's taken a lot of accountability for all the things that have gone on in your life, and now you're at the point of being able to manifest, and not just like, and I did a reading too, not linked to this one, but it was about I did a 3-card pull, and it was the dragon deck, and it was through your past, your present, and your future. And the future spoke a lot about like abundance and good things coming and all these, the shifts and all that. So that was pretty interesting as well. So I'm not surprised that they're still talking about this abundance and our options. Like I said, when we get gifts from the universe and like level up, there's always lessons that come with it. And like I said, abundance isn't always just money. So when we're getting spiritual rewards or gifts from the universe, it comes in for different things. It could be, like another level up, glow up with your spiritual abilities. It could be activating one of your clairs. It could be a heart activation. It could be like, a kundalini, a complete kundalini awakening. And, people are like, oh, how do you know? And it's like, oh, you'll know. Trust me, you will know. There will be no mistaking it. When you get a Kundalini activation, I know that happened for me. Jesus came. A lot of my passed over relatives like showed up, like friends, like people that I really, had a connection with. They popped in and they were a part of it, and they all hung around like 3 days and nights. I barely slept like I didn't eat or sleep like the 3 days that they were here. And then when they were gone, I mean, I felt that loss of them not being here, but I was like literally vibrating with the energy. It was pretty amazing. They had me record every step of it. So it's in my what do you call those? Like I have it all clumped together, and it's called my Kundalini journey, and it was pretty amazing. Anyway, it's different for everyone, but they had me record every, like, all the good, bad, and the ugly about it. Anyway, moving on. So this says, this library card here, my ears are ringing too. So this library card here, it's about just a library card. This card reminds you that the world is magnificently abundant with infinite books, songs, movies, resources, and other forms of entertainment and information. You are surrounded by unlimited support. Riches are swirling all around you. This card invites you to cultivate an attitude of abundance and focus on all that you have, not what you lack. Okay, so that's kind of just like I was saying, like, abundance comes in different forms here, right? Okay, they want me to read the beach card, so this might have something to do with it here. Let's see. They keep giving me these decks. I'm not... Joy, fun, and frivolity. I don't even know what that means. What it says here, when this card appears, it invites you to take a break from anything stressful, indulge in self-care and pure fun, attend a comedy show, get a pampering spa treatment, or watch your favorite rom-com with buttery popcorn, and take a beach read moment. It will bring you the energy you need to handle whatever comes next. Okay. See how she's like resting too. And I was in that other reading that I was dealing with. Well, and then there's a librarian, and it's got the key here on is that a key? Yeah, I think that's a key. Or a pair of scissors. I don't know. Cut it out or do something. But when I was doing that other reading, that this is like, I'm going to connect them together here. They'll be in the descriptions. I was saying how, like, I didn't do readings for like a week or more. I'm not sure how long it's been. I kind of just tune out, and time's a blur. But and I was just doing a lot of resting, because I was saying how with all the new energy, I was kind of integrating a new guide. So that was one of my gifts, right? I received a gift of a new guide. So I wasn't familiar with the energy, and I'm still not familiar with the energy. So you have to bear with me a little bit, because every guide, it brings us to a different stage of development, I guess is probably. So I'm going into a new cycle, just like you're probably going into a new cycle. If you found this video, then you're definitely going into a new cycle too. So, so the bravery here is, you have been questioning whether you're heading in the right direction. If you're following your intuition, the universe's answer is an empathetic yes. You will never be sent something you don't have the capacity to handle. Those challenges, you never know until you get to the other side exactly what they were guiding you toward. Face down your fears and trust in your heart. Hold on a minute, because I have to reground. I have some energy coming at me right now that's not mine, and I don't believe it's yours either. I think it might be some of the people that live in this house. I think I'm kind of getting invaded by their energy right now, and it's like twangs of fear is what I'm feeling here. So I don't really know what's going on, and nor do I care to know. So I'm just going to reground for a moment here. Okay. You know, I knew something might have been up because I actually washed my hands with salt before I started here to so I didn't have. Okay. So I'm just going to keep this on the table here. Okay, so in the upright, which it is, it says the message, you're on the right track, being guided toward unseen opportunities, in tune with your spiritual side, and choosing trust over fear, even when it's difficult. So the affirmation that goes with this card is everywhere I go, I prosper. So say that to yourself every day. Everywhere I go, I prosper. Say it to yourself multiple times a day, actually. And so then we have this amazing manifestation and accountability. So you're taking accountability for everything that's going on. Look, infinity. This card rarely comes up. Oh my God, look. And then we have the 888 and it's reward in reverse, but we're not going to touch that because I know that there's rewards coming in. The infinity on the bottom. Okay, I wasn't supposed to remove that card. Just leave it up with the infinity. Okay, Spirit. Wow. These three cards mean a lot here. They don't usually have these cards apart. Like they usually have me just read them at the very end. So you could be seeing any of these numbers. You could be seeing all the eights like I was talking about earlier, because that's what started this reading. You could be seeing 717, 111, or 69, or the affinity symbol. And then affinity also is an 8, right? So, and then of course there was 2 8s underneath that. Funny Spirit. Okay, so I'm going to pull out some oracle cards, and I also brought out my tarot deck that's of the Galactic Tarot deck. So let's find out what Spirit wants us to know here. So there's probably going to be some kind of lesson or something that goes with this gift. Whoa, self-love, number 3. You are learning what your capacity to love others is directly related to your ability to love yourself. Okay, this is a really good lesson to learn because, you know, that helps you understand the people around you. Approval on the bottom. Choose to approve of yourself, and others will too. Yeah, this is all about that self-acceptance and all that stuff, right? You know, this helps you to, the self-love, having, you know, being able to pour into yourself really allows you to see things from a different way. It allows you to accept people in a different way. And, you know, yeah, and how they do like a self-sabotage to themselves, right? Yeah. Okay. Cards don't usually flow. You know, it's funny too, because this guide has been like really flicking the cards out. And I'm wondering if it's because in the other reading, I was stalling a lot because I've been pulling the cards out like, you know, like this, face down. And I was really kind of questioning a little bit, like, "Ooh, is this the right card? Is that the right card?" Like, and so I think that's why they started flicking the cards out for me, so that I don't spend so much time, because I'm not familiar with working with this guide. It's going to probably take a dozen or so readings for me to really integrate their energy with mine. And, you know, they have to get used to me too, so. Speaking up. Your soul is guiding you to stand in your light and speak your truth. Oh, Spirit, there was something about that too. There was a card that they showed me that was about speaking truth or using your voice or something to that. Oh, we'll look at that in a minute here. So I'm going to pull out some more oracle cards here. Guidance. Yeah, exactly. I was just talking about having a new guide. When you make divine intelligence your foundation, you finally have a fixed star to follow. Yep. Okay. It's on the bottom. Non-duality. Let your authentic humanity shine forth while also bowing to the inner divine. You can become fluent at doing both. You know, this symbol also is the sound of the universe, the Om. You know, this is where you've, I think you've integrated, or maybe you're possibly going to start integrating the balance of the male and the female, the yin and the yang. Yeah. Okay. This one here. Oh, what's on the bottom, you said? Anxiety. That wasn't what was on the bottom. Contract. Yeah, look, I was just talking about that balance. Yeah. You're seeing beyond the illusions. You don't need to see with your eyes. I think you're starting to see with your, with that third eye. Maybe that's what that's your next level. Maybe they're going to increase your third eye activation here. They're either going to activate it or they're going to increase it. So your intuition, okay? So your intuition is going to become more pronounced. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael, leading from your heart. Didn't we just read a card, something about how leading from your heart? Spirit. Okay, they want me to look at the bottom. I just shuffled these decks and then I just set them aside. Reality check, assessment, exploration, honesty, determination. But that was in the upright, right? Indifference, inactive, misguided, unmotivated. I don't know what that means. Okay. Let's see here. They keep pointing this card out, so I think they want me to, there's something in that they want me to read. Okay, what would that move? Wake up call. You know, that's funny because they said that twice. They showed me with that, the unicorn. What was that called again? Wake up call. You were about to discover your life purpose. You're about to discover your life purpose. Oh my God, that's what your next gift is going to be. Oh, yeah. So they are going to increase your intuition or your third eye chakra or something. They're going to do something with that. You're leading more with your heart now, I think. Okay, Spirit. Reality check. That's what it was. The reality check. Okay. I'm just going to move this here. You know, there's the bottom of these decks always have something to do with it. Compassion, self-care, simplification, and beauty. Yeah, I think you're starting to see all the beauty in yourself. I think you're seeing all the, with the self-love, right? I think you're going to, this angel has come in, Jophiel. Number 5, that brings all the change. Okay. Okay, let me see here. I want to pull a card out. Pull out 2. It's on the bottom. See the humor, perspective, wisdom, playful, levity. Look, and they're doing a tarot reading. Funny, Spirit. Okay, so there's one more card here. It's on the bottom. Truth be told. You know, that's 14 breaks down to another 5. There's another, you know, the owl also represents like intuition, higher spiritual, removing this mask, seeing yourself for who you truly are, all this self-love. My God, that's beautiful, Spirit. Tell the truth, exactly. Oops. Okay. Unfinished symphony. Exactly. You know, number 10, that's funny because I just did a reading. Oh my God, that reading was number 10. They showed me 1010. Oh, okay. I'm not going to get focused on that. Okay, so let's just start with these and see where this takes us and get more information. Synchronicities, 44. Allow the magic to unfold as synchronistic events lead you in a new direction. See, and that's what I was talking about earlier, about how you're going to be, you're going on a new path. Okay, because you're letting go. Everything is indeed out of control, and God will hold it all. I can safely let go. The temple path. I was just talking about that path. Cool. The sixth chakra, and I was talking about that third eye, and it comes right out under this eye here too. So you have Archangel Metatron, and he's connected to the central sun, which is interesting because, you know, this looks like a central, like the sun, the Ra. I heard Ra, the Egyptian god Ra. He also is connected to the sun. Okay. The Eye of Horus, yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Self-enjoyment, employment, self-employment. Wow. Commitment, resourceful, confident, rewarding. This is this manifestation. You don't want to be working for someone else. You want your own. I don't think I've ever pulled this card before, to be honest with you. You could be seeing birds. Feathers could be very significant. This could be one of those synchronicities. And I noticed that there's a bird on that book there too. You know, there's a bird here with this this guy sitting in this let go. I'm afraid these cards are going to fly on the floor because they're wow. The wake up call. You're definitely on a new journey here. You're doing some kind of manifesting because they brought up about this, look, the perfect timing. Clockwork, planning, patience, auspicious. This is the accountability. It comes out on under accountability and self-love. What's this one? Go the distance. No joke. You know, this is breaks down to an 11, and 11 is a master number. 34 breaks down to a 7. Those are the levels of gaining your spiritual. You know, this is also 29 breaks down to another 11. So you have 11, 11 here. 12 breaks down to 3, and then you have a 3 on the board, so you have 3, 3. You could be seeing a lot of these angel numbers. They keep showing me this. I have to read it, see what they want here. Incredible manifestation energy is on tap. You already possess all the tools you need to follow your own path. This is a gentle reminder that you are not alone on that journey. No, because you have, what was that other angel? I can't remember that other angel that popped up. You have Metatron, and you had that other angel, the pink angel. Oh, what was that? What angel was that again? Sorry, Spirit. I forgot the angel. Well, it's in the video, so you can just, you know, go back and look or write it down or whatever. The universe has your back. The universe has your back, baby. It is fully aware of your strengths and is encouraging you to move forward, to take the steps needed to actualize your goals. Seeing it comes right out under self-employment. I think you've been a little bit nervous about wanting to do that. Maybe that's why I was getting that little pang of fear too. Break free of those limiting lies and self-doubts. Yeah, okay. So pursuing your dreams with honesty and integrity. You know, they brought that up again about speaking your truth, living in your integrity, being authentic to yourself. Beautiful, Spirit. Trusting that you are supported by the higher realm, manifesting your desires by taking action, and everything you need is at your fingertips. So the affirmation is, I am a magnet for all my desires. Wow. That's beautiful. Yeah, because it's an unfinished symphony here. You know, like I was saying, like we have like all these steps that we take. And, you know, not everyone is willing to go the distance to get what they want. Like not everyone is willing to, you know, dive deep and take the accountability. And, you know, accountability is something, oh, they're pointing that out now. You can always hit pause, you know. This is a call to take a step back and rethink your daily habits and practices. You know, it's the perfect timing. So if you don't feel that you're ready, you can always pause, right? But from what I'm understanding here is, you know, they're saying that you can go forward. You're going to be guided. Okay, so they're saying that you can rethink your daily habits and practices, and are they serving to bring you peace? You're the one in control of what you do after all. Taking accountability for your actions, reflection allows you to make the kind of practical changes that create ripples throughout all aspects of life. You're a growth-focused honey. Be intentional. You know, this definitely has to do with that other reading. So taking time to reflect and re-examine, making practical, intentional changes for the better, seek to help others in order to help yourself, balancing your everyday needs with your spiritual needs. And your affirmation for this one is being happy is becoming a habit. Okay. Look on the bottom. Ace of Discs. Oh, that's the pentacles. The discs are pentacles. This is about like new ideas, new beginnings, planting seeds, all the potential for success. And no joke, it's about manifesting. The Ace of Discs. You know, maybe doing more research. I think maybe you might have a little bit of apprehension or something. Look, and on the bottom is Temperance. I did shuffle this deck before I started. Temperance is where, you know, see how she's like sitting here and lounging and letting everything integrate? That's what this is, Temperance. Maybe you don't feel like you're moving forward. I think that's what the Bravery card talks about. But this is where, Temperance is where, in this deck, it's where you, you know, you take the time for letting everything to integrate. All the new energies and the, all your new gifts and your guide. Like I was talking about, you know, when I was talking about my new guide and how like I have to get familiar with my new guide's energy and she has to get familiar with mine. I'm being handed over is what I heard. So you're being handed over. So just like I'm being handed over from one guide into another. So that's why it's hard to recognize the energy. But see, for you, you're going to have some kind of, you're going to have this your heart, because you're starting to work from your heart more because of all the self-love that you've given to yourself. It's now coming out with this new with the new what is interfering here with the third eye? But your pineal gland is really what it is. Yeah, see, this is, you know, because this is talks about that you're on the right path, all that too, right? Wow, Spirit. You've been doing a lot of letting go of these old energies. Three of Wands, and look at the World. And it looks like a portal here in the JFK airport. Yeah, this is all about moving in the right direction. It's still like, you're moving in the right direction here. Look, and the Chariot, look. The Chariot is about, you're on the right path. They keep talking about being all on the right path. The Four of Swords, you're going to talk about that resting again, too. So, with the accountability here, and they're talking about the resting, maybe you're trying to overthink something, or you're trying to rush something. It's okay to take time to rest. They brought that up a couple times here about the resting. While you're resting, you can still be, like, reading about, educating yourself about certain things or whatever, but you don't have to be going at full throttle. What else is here? The Nine of Cups. Wow, Spirit. This is really cool. Because the Nine of Cups is like the universe gifting you a desire. And I kept talking about like all those gifts, like them giving us gifts. Look, and there's going to be celebration. Holy moly. Okay, so I'm going to bring out more clarifiers here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I was talking about the 7 levels. It's funny too, because I was going to do another reading after this, because they showed me a star, not like a star that, like a starfish type star, but like an actual, like, round in the middle with all the beams shooting off of it. And then they showed me the number 17, and the 717 keeps jumping out at me during this reading here. I think it's because you've come from this, like the Five of Cups is where, like, you've had all this emotional heartache, and like you have all the spilt dreams here, but you have 2 things here on the side that's going to come in. I think it's going to come in where you're not going to expect it. It's going to come from somewhere that you don't expect. Okay. Wow, Spirit. Well, I've never noticed the dolphins here flying around. Yeah, they're really talking about, like, if you have to take time to step back and just do some resting, like, you do what you need to do, because trying to force things is not going to be good for your highest good. You know what I mean? It's all in divine timing. There's a perfect timing for everything. Okay. And I see how he's sitting in this lotus position. See how he has these hands sitting? These hands like this? That's actually a hand mudra position. And if you have your left hand on the outside, like I see how he's got his left hand is on the outside. Now, having the left hand on the outside is better, because your left hand is closer to your heart. Okay. Okay, Spirit. Let's get some clarifiers here. I just heard them say we don't need any clarifiers. The Eight of Discs is on the bottom. This is the Eight of Pentacles. This is all this abundance. Look, I was just talking about, like, that abundance. So you're going to go from the Ace of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is about all these, it could be anything. It could be, all this abundance that's going to come. It could be like mastering a skill, because, you have you have this, like with the books here. So maybe you feel like you have to master a skill before you move on. Maybe that's what the resting period could be. Resting is always a good thing to master. Oh my God, the Six of Wands. Wow. This is all about the success and being a leader. The Eight of Wands, this is coming in fast. Look, you got a lot of wands going on here. See how she's running too, right? So I think this is going to happen quite quickly, this third eye activation here. You know, I noticed that the Devil card is here, and I see like there's, they're stuck on their phone. Now, normally that would come out here on self-employment, but they gave me this instant download that said this could be what's causing this doubt, is this energy here. This energy is always hanging around. It's always trying to look, and right behind it, what do you have? The Death card. This is getting rid of this type of thinking. Don't ever doubt yourself. And if you doubt yourself, take that time to pause and say, why am I doubting myself? You free yourself from the energy. I just heard free yourself from this energy. This rebirth card here. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Oh my God. I was like, what do you want to go with this Chariot? And look what you have. The High Priestess. That's working through, and the Chariot comes when you have gone through like all the pain and the Nine of Wands swords kind of thing, where you're up all night and you're dealing with all this pain and frustration and heartache and the negativity and all that, right? Yeah, you have all the sun energy here, that again, it's they're bringing up Metatron and Ra. Yeah, look, and right underneath is the Five of Wands. When you've gone through a lot of conflict and stuff, and you have this conflicting energy going on with the Five of Wands, take that time to step away and rest. Because I know this accountability card that talked about that. Like it's okay to take a step back. And then right under the Nine of Cups, what do you have but the Magician? No joke. The Magician is where this is where you've mastered it all. So, here it's talking about the Eight of Pentacles here is about mastering a skill, your sole purpose, being, being an expert in your field, that determination, because it's over here, it's about going the distance, right? Wow, Spirit. Okay, and then we have the Page of Swords. Oh, yeah, you could be like restless, yeah. Because like there's celebration, you just want to get on with it. You just want to get to the celebration part of it. You just funny spirit. Your thirst for information too, and like the Page of Swords is all about just always wanting that information. And again, there's more books here, just like at the very beginning about this, all that study that you're doing. And look, the Ten of Cups, no joke. Wow, there's a lot of great things that are coming for a lot of people. This is really wonderful, because the Ten of Cups is about a lot about community and love and finding your soulmate and harmony and family and abundance and different things in life. You know what I mean? Is that it, Spirit? They said that's it. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to close this reading. This is really wonderful, though. This Page of Swords really makes me laugh because, you know, with all that curiosity you have and the restless energy, you know, you're so intellectual and, you know, you're still a student, right? So your thirst for information and all that intellectual pursuits that you're doing, this is going to lead you so that you're in your self-employment, but just don't allow this, you know, when you get this doubt, like take a step back and do a little bit of resting. Like, you know, it's all in divine timing here. You don't have to like push yourself to the point where you're exhausted, because you're no good. If you get sick, you're no good, right? You don't want to overwhelm your system. Okay, Spirit. Okay, so we're just going to close the reading now, and I hope this finds you well, and I'm going to bid you a good day, and I'm going to send you all my love and light. Bye, everyone.